Last year, Polaris came out with the XP 1000, and it pretty much blew everything away that was out there. Now, a lot of people thought that for 2015, they might actually go even further with that. But instead of that, they decided to go back and revamp the whole model lineup below the XP 1000. So this right here is the Polaris S 900. Now, this is going to replace the 800 model, and they have several different versions, but the S model is the wide track. It's 60 inches wide. It's got nice automotive paint, Dirt Commander tires, same bucket seats that you find in the 1000, and basically the same styling. It's got, you know, the same nice latching doors, same shaped cage, so a lot of the accessories will match up from the 1000 to the 900. Basically from the B-pillar forward, everything that you could put on the 1000 in terms of bolt-on bumpers and grab bars and all that stuff, bolt right onto this bad boy. Power in this thing is a ProStar 900 engine, and it's got less horsepower than the XP 900. Now, a lot of people thought this was going to be a replacement for the XP 900, but it's not. That one's still available. Granted, it's only in one colorway, and it's kind of a limited edition type thing, but it's still in the lineup. This is a 800 replacement. So when you're comparing the two, yes, the XP 900 has more power than this 900 does, but it's got way more than the 800 does. And in fact, the engineers in our tech briefing this morning said that this machine right here actually accelerates faster than an XP 1000 because it's so light and the power to weight ratio is better than anything out there. We're excited to give it a shot, go run around Coral Pink and see how this thing does. All right, so we spent half a day at Coral Pink, and then we've come over to Hog Canyon to ride this RZR S 900, and overall, I think it's a pretty good machine. We're up at altitude, so the power on this thing's really not that impressive, but you know, that's what happens when you're at 6,500, you know, 6,000 feet. It just doesn't feel as peppy as they were claiming in the meetings we had in the morning that were talking about how this is the fastest accelerating RZR that's ever been. So other than that, I really like this machine. The layout of it, I mean, you look at it, it looks very similar to 1000. Cockpit's pretty close. It's a little more compact, a little less legroom than the 1000, but overall it's pretty comfortable. It's got the, you know, bucket seats that hold you in pretty decently, as long as you have them back all the way against the back wall of the cockpit. You don't. You can feel them flex a little bit. That's kind of annoying. Handling wise, it's an awesome handler. We've gotten to some really fast, tight turning trails where an XP 900 or an XP 1000 would be an absolute handful. In the tight, twisty stuff, you know, with the XP 900 or an XP 1000, you've got so much body roll that they become a handful and they really want to roll over, especially when you jam them into ruts really hard. Where the S right here, it's really confidence inspiring to jam into rutted corners and it'll stick, and you don't have to worry about too much body roll or bicycling. Suspension wise, it's definitely not on the level of the XP 900 or the XP 1000, but it's better than the old RZR S 800. So, you know, we hit some whoops and bottomed it out a little bit. We added 4 clicks of compression to try to stiffen it up a little bit, and it helped. It's just not a whoop wagon like you would expect from some of the other higher end units. But for trail riding, where if you're not banging through huge desert whoops all the time, this thing's awesome. The handling more than makes up for its deficiencies in suspension performance. So it's really hard not to compare this thing to the XP 900, basically because it's a 900 and it looks very much like the XP 1000, but that's not really what it should be compared against. It should be compared against the old 800, and in that, it totally destroys it. It's a much better vehicle. So I think overall, Polaris has been successful redesigning this unit.